This is the 2025 Infiniti QX80. It is big, it is bold, and it is all luxury, 3 rows, brand new inside now, and it is running for North American SUV of the Year. Now, if you're used to large 3-row SUVs, there's a lot of competitors in that category, and we'll discuss that at the end, but let's get started with this vehicle and the new look. It is completely new. The new LED headlights, that Infiniti grille, which is huge, but there's a lot of cooling that's required for an engine of this size and this towing capacity. You'll also notice this Infiniti logo, which is actually the road going to Infiniti, and it does illuminate at night, and it looks pretty cool. Down below, you've got a really nice aggressive front end, but the key thing to this, it is aerodynamically designed, so on the highway, it is easy to control. There are 4 trim levels on the QX80, and that is Pure, Luxe, Sensory, and Autograph, and we are test driving the Autograph, which is fully loaded. The imposing shape of the QX80 is very upright, so it's got a large front grille, and you can see these big wheels as well. The exterior lighting elements really make drama happen with this vehicle at night. It includes 2 slim daytime running lights, and has a curb weight of 6,000 pounds. The Infiniti rides on 22-inch alloy wheels, and I do like this new design. It goes along with the family of Infiniti, which we've seen a lot of upgrades over the last year. This is quite an ominous vehicle. I'm 5'8", and you can see this vehicle towers over me. It's got roof rails that I can barely reach, but you can use these running boards, which are built in. They do not retract. And speaking of retraction, these handles do retract at speed. When you get close to the vehicle, it has proximity key, so the handles will come out, and it's very easy to open the door. Very nice, and they're not too heavy either. Some of these bigger vehicles have really heavy doors. Big mirrors, which is good with turn signals built into them, but overall the black trim is really nice with the chrome down below. It gives it actually a smaller look, but this is a pretty big vehicle. I do like the vent that's been put in front, also just a nice little detail. Lots of nice details both inside and out. Coming around to the back, well, this upper wing has something that I've always been talking about, which is tucking that wiper blade up underneath. It protects it. It's also great when you got to scrape ice off the back, so it's very practical to have it under there, and it'll last longer. The third brake light is built into this upper wing. Really nice flat back LED lights across the back. Infiniti in big, bold chrome lettering to remind everyone around you that you're driving that QX80 4-wheel drive, because you can also get it in rear-wheel drive. We'll talk about that under the hood. And you've also got these nice exhaust pipes, which are nicely styled and designed. If you're looking for your towing receiver, well, that's behind this cover. All of this is done to keep it very luxurious looking. Now let's take a look at the cargo space while we're back here. Underneath this cover is storage space, and below the vehicle is the tire, so the jack is stored here to keep it clean. Great idea. Now let's put down these seats, and I'll show you how much space you have. It's quite a bit. Press this button, left side goes down, right side goes down, and if you've got a heavy liftwood in here, you can lower the rear of the vehicle. It'll lower down while you put something in, and then when you put it back in, you can bring it back to the proper height. Now you're at 60 cubic feet of storage. Pull down that second row, and now you're at 101 cubic feet of storage, which is huge. That is full-size luxury SUV space. Really good when you got to help your kids move to college, or just have things that you'd like to move around. You want to put the seats back up. Pretty simple. Press the buttons, and they return to their original position, which is really nice to have, especially in a luxury vehicle when you have your hands full with children or just items every day that we have to deal with. Inside this luxury 3-row SUV, you've got a massage function for both front and second rows. That's unique in this category. Of course, they're heated and ventilated, but heated seats are also offered in the 3rd row, which is a unique offer in this category, unless you want to spend a lot more money. Available infrared sensor system can detect when a rear seat passenger is too warm and will automatically direct cool air toward them, and that's part of the climate control system and the vents, which is nice. If they have the heated seats on, maybe you fall asleep and you don't realize it, well, the car is smart enough to know to make those changes. The interior color choices are quite nice. It doesn't appear to be real leather, but I do like the stitching and the details on the new interior. Heading into the second row, these captain's chairs are really comfortable, and they're good for all size people. Whether you're putting a child safety seat here or you have someone that needs more space, you'll find this to be very comfortable. Climate control, heated and ventilated seats, as well as massaging, 2 USB-C charge ports. There's 8 total in the car, as well as a regular outlet for a car. Carpeting throughout, which is all Infiniti labeled. Pockets behind the seats. Also, this clippage audio system is back here in the second and third rows. They really did a nice job with balancing out the audio. Very premium brand. As far as center console, instead of this big one that you have in the front, you've got a smaller one here that's got 2 cup holders. 2 more USB-C charge ports, and a place for your phone. It's not wireless charging. I wish it was. It'd be kind of a neat little feature. I think people would pay for that. But the idea is that there's plenty of room, and going into that third row is just a bit tighter, but there's plenty of room for an adult if you need to sit back there. I don't know about a long road trip, but for most road trips, you'll be perfectly fine in the third row. I do like that the glass roof comes all the way back to the second row, and of course there's vents back here, as well as a pull bar and some lighting, so it's pretty comfortable in the second row. Under the hood is a 450 horsepower twin-turbo 3.5-liter V6 engine with 516 pound-feet of torque, backed by a 9-speed automatic that's standard across the lineup. The Pure and the Lux line can have either rear-wheel drive or all-wheel drive, but if you choose the top of the line, the Sensory or the Autograph, well, that comes all-wheel drive standard. 0 to 60 time is 5.3 seconds with a towing capacity of 8,500 pounds. Fuel economy, 16 miles to the gallon in the city and 20 miles to the gallon on the highway with the rear-wheel drive. Just drop 1 more mile per gallon for those all-wheel drive applications. This does ride on air spring suspension system that does have different drive modes that literally will change not just the handling, but it will lower that vehicle so that you get the best performance in every mode. Okay, the first thing you're going to notice when you get in the vehicle is, where's the shifter? Well, that is now a smooth button of park, reverse, neutral, and drive. There's also a manual mode that is right in front of the center console where you would put your wireless car charging, and there's also charge ports there. On the right side of the charger, by the way, is the cup holders if you need to put that. There is an air cool box available for the center. Our test vehicle does not have that, but it's here. This is nice, good size, very deep. Again, all this can be covered up. To the right, since I'm here, I might as well show you the ability to up, raise, and lower the vehicle. That is right here, and then if you hit the cameras, you can see the different camera modes going on around you, which is nice. But most of the time, I think we're going to need this around view camera, this bird's eye view, where you can see what's going on. Again, you can also do a 360, which is kind of neat. So you can see what's going on around your vehicle. You can change the color of the vehicle too, which is nice. Very nice to see that you can pick all of these cameras that are around the car. Really well designed. I mean, and it's a clear camera, which is super important. There is no backup camera. There's a backup rear view mirror, but there's no camera built in. I kind of wish there was. That would make a lot of sense. Now, this is a Google-based center screen, so Apple CarPlay is available. I hooked it up initially on the cable because I'm an Apple user, and Android's built right in right away. When you go to this, you can go to the different settings. You get your Apple CarPlay, your Android Auto, your interior lighting. You've got tons of color ambient choices. You can pick whatever you like. We're now in the fall, so I'll put this on the autumn colors, but you can also do the Pro Pilot Assist, which is part of the safety. We'll talk about that when we get on the road. In addition, as you go through, because you want to set all this up before you put the car in drive, you get your Google Assist, your maps are here. The maps are really nice, really crystal clear. And again, there are some subscription fees that are built into this, so you have to decide if that works for you or not. So again, this is really nice. We're in Hilton Head Island for the Concours. We'll be covering that. You'll see that on our social media. Download more additional apps if you want. Amazon Alexa based, your garage, your profiles, everything is here. And then again, it just keeps going around. There's a demo mode also if you'd like that additional information, or just put it right here and you get the best of everything. There are two 13-inch screens together and a 9-inch screen down below. This is all new, very nice materials. I like this. I think they did a nice improvement on that. All the way across, Infiniti, nice and sleek, and down the road, Infiniti and forever. I guess that's Toy Story. You also have Clip-Edge audio, which includes Android Auto and Apple CarPlay and Bluetooth technology, and all of that is here. Your volume button is here. It's actually a volume dial. We have to have it off because we're not allowed to have it on because of ASCAP, but start-stop button is here. Paddle shifters. Steering wheel is pretty much the same as what you're used to if you've driven any other Infiniti or Nissan vehicle. You can set your safety settings here. The speed limit is here as well, and it just keeps looping, which is nice. You can have your audio system here. You can have your information on your trailer blind spot, your audio and driver assistance features all right here. If you don't want any of that, you can dial it into whatever you want. I've got the navigation set in front of us. Cruise control on the left. If you want to shut off the auto off, which I do because I don't like the start-stop technology, you can shut that off. It shows it right here in the center screen. Your lane departure and your hatch and everything are on the left side. All the rest of the controls are what you would expect in an Infiniti. Haptic, easy to use. Memory setting for 2 seats on the left side. So let's go into drive right here. Now there are different drive modes, and that's one of the things that people like. Go into the modes right here. It is haptic, and you got your personal, standard, eco, sport, tow, and snow. I've been driving it around in standard. We're gonna move it to sport because we want to. As we drive around the roads here, and it is quite beautiful in Hilton Head Island. If you haven't been here, it's worth a trip to come up and see all of the beautiful things and enjoy the activities that are here, including the car show and the beach, etc., of course. But I do like the ride in this vehicle. It is a bit rough because I'm in the sport mode. So let's go back to standard mode. This vehicle rides nicely. I would say it's very equivalent to a Lexus. There is a Lexus competitor as well. And I think it's also right up there with like the Lincoln. You're gonna get a Lincoln ride. It's not a sporty German BMW, Audi, Mercedes-Benz type of feel because they're completely different vehicles. They're similar, they're direct competitors, people cross shop them, but this vehicle is a really good value in comparison to those because they're even more expensive. Now, if you said, I don't want the luxury, I want all of this, you can get into a Nissan Armada, which is new. But in addition to that, instead of the Lincoln Navigator, you could look at the Ford Expedition. So there's a lot of choices in this category, whether it be luxury or non-luxury vehicles. The steering wheel is nice, it's firm, very much like a German car. It's not sloppy whatsoever. The brakes are large. Stop this big beast. Remember, we're 6,000-ish pounds. That's a lot. And you need whoa power as well as go power. And there's pretty good performance with this new driveline. We'll be passing some really cool cars along the way. I don't know if you'll get a chance to see them, but if not, check out the Hilton Head Island Concours website. There's some amazing vehicles. As we go through the trees here at the Westin on Hilton Head Island, this is where they have us for the show. I wanted to at least give you a feel for what it's like to drive this vehicle. Easy to drive, really comfortable. Everything's easy to access and easy to use, which is super important when you're looking at a vehicle like this. Now we're going to go into the sport mode because we have to test that out too, because that's part of the fun. And immediately you're going to see changes. The vehicle gets lower. It gets firmer. It has more performance, but that's what sport's supposed to do. All the safety features are standard. There is additional safety if you want that Pro Pilot 2.0, which is a lot of driver assistance features. Not everybody wants those, but again, at least you know it's available if you want all of those nannies and assistances. A lot of people do. If you're doing a long road trip, this is a great option. And one of the things I was pretty impressed with, and I said it while I was walking around the outside, was the longer warranty. That is really important because remember, when you're competing with like Genesis and their GV80, which is just a bit smaller than this, you're going to find right away that they have the longer warranty. So Hyundai, Kia, Genesis have that 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty, which it does not have on this vehicle. But having that longer warranty of up to 70,000 miles is really important when you have a vehicle like this, especially if you're going to keep it. If you're going to lease it and get rid of it in 3 years, well, maybe that's not as important to you, but having the service for 3 years, that will save you some money. Now, overall, this vehicle is quite large, and you do have to get used to parking it. It's very easy to park, but again, it's one of those things. If you haven't driven a large three-row SUV, I suggest you put it in a parking spot, see how it fits in your garage. It's very tight. It's a big vehicle, and it's really important. I have one of the main competitors that I'm also reviewing at the same time, which is a Hyundai Palisade. It is about the same size, so keep that in mind that if that vehicle doesn't fit in your garage, this one won't either. But as far as comfort for second and third row, I had the whole Car Coach Reports team here, adults sitting in the second and third row, and they said it was pretty comfortable. They liked the technology. They love the vented seats in the second row, and of course the massaging seats is a really nice feature when you're going on a long road trip. And I think that's one of the things that gets easily overlooked. You think about what I'm doing day to day, but also what are you doing with this vehicle? So those are all factors that you need to consider. But as far as pickup and whoa power, I think this vehicle is pretty good. Will it win SUV of the year? Well, that is an extremely tight category. You've got the Volvo EX90, you've got the Volkswagen ID Buzz. This vehicle is in the category as well as the Hyundai Santa Fe. We have reviewed all of them on our channel. Check that out. Car Smarts has all the car reviews. Car Coach Reports has all of the news stories. If you're trying to figure out where did all the car reviews go, well, they've all been moved over to Car Smarts. So make sure to check that out so that you have Car Smarts too. There are some pros and cons to the Infiniti QX80. There is great stowing capacity. If you got to move things around, this is great, and you can also use the roof area for a cargo container if needed. Comfortable seating in all three rows. The third row is a little on the tighter side. It's not like it's a Lincoln Navigator where you've got extra room, but it does offer a lot of technology and some massive improvements over the past generation. In addition, I did like all the interior details and the design and styling. They did a really nice job, and this is a massive improvement. On the negative side, it was a bit loud on the highway, but again, that depends on the roads that you're driving on. It might be super quiet for you, so it's important that you take this for a test drive before you make your final decision. It's also important to note for this big price, there are some of the features that you want that are behind a paywall, and that can get expensive, so make sure you do your homework beforehand. If it's included for a short period of time, once those great features that you're used to are gone, well, that can be a bit frustrating, and it's not just on this brand, other brands are starting to do the same thing. Overall, this is a massive improvement for the Infiniti product lineup, as this is the flagship, the big one, the 3-row luxury SUV, and the largest one that they make. But there's a lot of competitors in this category as well. The BMW X7, the Lincoln Navigator, of course, the Cadillac Escalade, the Land Rover Range Rover, and the Mercedes-Benz GLX. Now, there are other vehicles that compete in this category, including Audi, so it's important that you take them all for a test drive before you make your final decision. If you have any additional questions on the QX80, put them down in the comments below. Let's start that conversation. If you'd like to support our channel, you can buy me a cup of coffee. The link for that is in the description, as well as all the ways to reach me, all my social media, the book, the podcast, and everything. I'm LaurenFix. Thanks so much for watching.